It's here, my friends. It is freaking here, just in the nick of time. Hello, good morning, welcome back to the channel. We are supposed to be heading out here in a few hours with this Evo, and it currently does not have a steering rack or subframe in it. This is our new steering rack. Now, if you've ever looked for a brand new OEM Evo 8 steering rack, you know you cannot buy them. But I found this one by just searching the OEM part number. I found this on eBay. It was 450 bucks. And I'm gonna say it's a 50-50 shot whether it actually works for an Evo or not. Based off their follow-up questions after I bought it, they confirmed it's actually for an Evo. They confirmed it's for a left-hand drive car, and they confirmed the VIN, and that it's a four-wheel drive car is what they said. If they didn't ask any of those questions, I would say it's definitely just for a base model answer. But based off of those questions, it should fit. But I'm pretty sure it's made in China, not in Japan. So that is where I get my 50-50 shot from. Well, here it is. One thing I must say is their packaging is very, very silly. There's a part number on this. New Air 23081221. I'm gonna Google that part number. I mean, it looks right. That looks like an Evo rack. But let's Google that part number and see what it comes up with. Nothing related to a steering rack whatsoever. Two things we need to confirm. Number one, that it actually fits on the subframe. That's easy to verify. Number two is the ratio. Stop to stop is 2 3/4 revolutions on the shaft. Now let's go see what the Evo 9 is. All right, she's all the way at the stop right now. There's 1, 2, yeah. I knew that was gonna be the case. eBay special rack, unfortunately, indeed does have a different ratio than an OEM rack, which is very, very, very unfortunate. I thought I found a good replacement rack for us Evo boys, but looks like that is not the case if you wanna keep the factory ratio. Now I most likely will just throw this in the car, provided it fits and bolts up, and just run it temporarily. Of course, I don't want a whack ratio on the Evo 8, but my rack that's getting rebuilt will not be done for a while. So let's see if this guy will fit on our subframe. Ridiculous. Everything else bolts right up. If the ratio is correct, we would have a new replacement rack for the Evo 8s and 9s. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Regardless, like I said, I'm still gonna go ahead and slap it in the car. We need to get this thing to the show, which we leave here soon. Of course, we don't have time to wait around for our rack to be built. And thankfully, it's only a few minutes to swap out. Steering rack is mounted up. Everything's torqued down. We have it completely centered. Let's get it in the car. Well, guys, if you were expecting to see the Evo at Stance Wars, it ain't coming. This rack, the angle of where the steering shaft goes on is way off. It's hitting the firewall. I thought I could maybe MacGyver some things to get it to fit, but I cannot get the steering column, the steering shaft on whatsoever. So unfortunately, this car is not making it. I'm trying to decide what other car we could take. Most likely we'll take Gary. I think that's the best bet. Well, guys, I got the STI all cleaned up. This is the old girl that's coming with us today. I'm excited. One last show, one last event. This car has came to so many freaking shows with us. Probably like around 10 shows, 10 events we've brought this car to. Let's get everything loaded up. We got the truck here. There is a car in the trailer, so we got to get that unloaded. And then to get the STI, in the trailer, we got to pull the bumper. It's a little bit low up front. And I did order up some race ramps, so hopefully we can avoid doing this in the future, because it's kind of annoying pulling the front bumper on literally every car. And with some race ramps, we should be able to avoid that. We got a secret car in the trailer. I'm kidding, not very secret. I was planning on bringing old girl up, getting all this registration stuff sorted out and getting her back on the road, but I ran out of time. So let's get this unloaded, get this loaded, and have a nice little road trip. Gary's loaded, aired up some tires, all your guys' favorite Vossen apparel goodies. We got shift knobs, banners, hoodies, tees. We got a ton of stuff we're bringing today. I'm excited. Stance Wars is a good show. Why are you picking your nose?
I wasn't picking my nose. I was picking my eye.
I saw you picking your nose.
Nuh-uh.
Hi, Haas.
Hi, honey.
You excited for Stancy's?
I am. It's kind of a throwback place.
It's our first show ever.
Yep.
As a crew.
Yep.
What year was that?
2016, July 11th.
That was our first show together?
Yep, right there.
Look at us. Back when I had hair.
Wow, back when I was tiny and blonde.
You're still tiny and blonde.
Oh.
Who's this dweeb? Good morning.
I don't want to be on camera.
Hi, Jamie.
Hello.
You excited to work the booth today?
No, I'm not excited.
Why not? You look like you just woke up.
I did.
Jamie, it's noon. Who are we waiting on as always?
Jared.
Even though I was 15 minutes late.
So technically it is both their faults.
All right, we made the 4-hour trek over to Seattle, or Bellevue area. Can you hold this real quick? So Bobby and I are gonna cruise the Subaru up top. We got Jamie and Jared with us, and then we gotta get the booth set up. It's hotter than a nut. Definitely got the best spot in the house, boys. Right up top, right by the stairs. I get to meet all you boys today. It's gonna be a warm one. All right, we got the booth all set up over there. Show starts in about an hour. So Bobby and I are gonna go check out some cars. Bobby's favorite car here, a 2J BRZ.
I haven't seen everything yet, but this is very clean.
Very clean.
Very clean.
Says Wallert. What's that motor out of?
What do you mean?
What's the motor out of?
It looks like it's out of a... It looks like it's out of a Supra. Beautiful. I think you should film it.
This thing is so cool. Wowza.
It is very cool.
Hey, those are way better than my Recaro seats. What are those?
User the front splitter out of ABS, so that's all.
What's this motor out of? Come on, Willie. Well, today we are going to be learning how to tint windows. I have tinted one car in my life, and it was 7 or 8 years ago, and it did not turn out good whatsoever. So back then I gave up on it, but I'm ready to learn again, restart, and I'm going to be starting out with tinting my Type R. Now, like I said, I have really no idea what I'm doing. I have the general, like, basic idea of how to do this, and I do have experience vinyl wrapping cars, as you guys know. I'm sure eventually in the future, when I'm really, really good at tinting windows, I'll just make a full-on DIY tutorial so you guys can do it at home as well. Paying a shop to tint windows is pretty dang expensive nowadays, and I'm a cheapie. So let's figure out how to do this. I plan on doing the whole entire car besides the windshield. The windshield on the all-wheel drive Type R needs to be replaced, as there's a bunch of pitting in the windshield from when I did the tubs, grinding on those tubs, sparks landing on the windshield, destroyed the windshield. So we're not going to be tinting that today, but the rest of the car I do plan on tinting. To start, I'm going to pull off the door panel, at least get it popped out a little bit so we can get that tint tucked underneath, and I'll pull this guy off as well. So the first thing that we need to do is make what I think tinters would call your slip solution. I'm sure a lot of tinters are gonna correct me in the comment section, and that's fine. Like I said, I really don't know what I'm doing, and it's enjoyable not knowing what I'm doing. This is one of the things on cars that I've never like perfected. In my opinion, it's really, really fun learning new skills. So let's squirt some of this baby shampoo into this spray bottle. And then, of course, dilute it with water, and this will be our slip solution to move the tint around as we're putting it on the window. So if I'm not mistaken, what we're gonna be doing is putting the film on the outside of the window, cutting it to fit, and then you transfer it to the inside. So the first thing I'm gonna do is clean the window so we don't get dirt on our tint. Seems like a logical step. All right, so in this tube we have 3 different darknesses of tint. I think I got some 5% for fun, 15 and 35. So here we have our tint. We need to cut it to the shape of the window. I really don't know what I'm doing, but enjoy me failing. So I have the tint cut to the exact shape of the window. Hopefully I did that right. Now we're gonna go to the inside. I need to clean the window, get it perfectly spotless, and then we can apply the tint to the inside of the window. All right, well, I got close. Unfortunately, I did create some creases in the tint, so I'm gonna rip this off and try again. I don't know what I did wrong, but it was close. So I got the first window complete. Now there still is a little bit of bubbles like right there. I'm hoping when this thing sits, those will eventually evaporate. I think that's how it works, but let's go ahead and move on to the next window. That one is not perfect. If I get this down, that would be very easy to redo, but let's try to knock out a rear and see if we can get the rear 100% perfect. So I now have both front and rear windows done. Not only does it look way freaking better, just take a look at that. It looks so nice compared to no tint at all. The tint I went with, which is the Lumar IRX Nano Ceramic Window Film, should block out a ton of the sun rays, keep our interior in good shape, and more importantly, being that I did decide to ditch the AC project on this car whenever I get back around to working on that kind of stuff, it's gonna keep the inside way cooler as well. So once again, Lumar IRX Nano Ceramic Film. It was a little bit more expensive than other cheaper films, but it's supposed to be a really good film. Lasts a long time, and it looks really, really nice. Let's go ahead and knock out the driver's side. See how this goes. Rear window is better than the front. Of course, that's the goal when you're doing something new, is to just get better. Trying to achieve perfection on your second window is a bit far-fetched. It's really, really good. There's one piece of hair in it. I don't know how it got there, but let's see if we can do better on the driver's side. Well, I'm definitely getting it figured out. All of the windows besides the rear window, the difficult window, are finished up. Now that I have a good rough idea of how to tint, I'll probably just go on YouTube and watch professionals do it. If I just watched how other people do it from the start, I don't think it would really help me out all that much. But now that I have a rough idea, refining it, watching the pros is gonna make me a pro. Know what I'm saying? Let's try and tackle this guy, the rear window. If we can get this done, which I know it needs to be shrunk to the glass being that it's curved so much. If we can get that done, as soon as we get a new windshield in the car, we can get the windshield done as well. And the Type R will be fully freaking tinted. So excited, man. I have a lot of cars right now that need tint. Like, I would say 10 minimum need tint. Most importantly, that car. I didn't want to learn on that because that car is literally perfect. If I cut anything on it, I'd be stressed out. This car, well, it's still, you know, very nice car. I'm less worried about this than that. First failure on the rear window. I did not take off that spoiler. I thought I could tint underneath it just fine. Turns out there's no way you can. Cut it way short. Now, all that tint right there, going in the trash. This is what I remember being so freaking hard years ago and why I decided to just give up on trying to tint. Shrinking tint to windshields and back windows, man, it is very, very difficult. I'm sure once I get it dialed in and figured out like the proper technique, it probably won't be so bad. Most likely just time consuming, but I keep burning the tint and I keep creasing the tint. So a lot of it is shrunk. I'm kind of just using this as a test piece now. But right up in here, you guys can see all the creases. So that's that. And then right here, I burnt it. Melted it, got it too warm. So it's a very fine line is what I'm finding out between too much heat, not enough heat, too much pressure on the squeegee, not enough pressure on the squeegee, so on and so forth. But hey, at least the sides are done. All the sides are done. They look fantastic. But man, that back window, we are gonna have to save this for another day. This is the second sheet. I only have enough for one more try. So I'm probably gonna order some more up because I have a feeling this is gonna take me a while. Not gonna lie, it is a bit frustrating. It is fun trying to learn something new, but I am failing miserably, as you guys can see. I've spent all freaking day and we got 4 windows tinted, but we'll get it figured out. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video right here. Big shout out to everyone who came out and said what's up at Stance Wars. I appreciate it. It's always super fun meeting you guys. And of course it would have been fun to bring the Evo 8 out, but as you guys know, that stupid steering rack wasn't the right one. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.